The first thing, if you haven't done, this is our thing. This is ours. Bikizo. This is ours. So if you're on that platform, the first thing you need to do is to hit the subscribe button. So shall we?
2026. But for now, we are going to be on the streets of Homabay, seeking thoughts and opinions from young people so that they tell us what they want their country to be, the Kenya they want, and also how then can young people realize the Kenya we want. And apart from that, how can these political parties really take us to the Kenya we want. So come with us as we take the opinions of fellow young people and fellow Kenyans in Homabay streets.
My name is Jan Obala. I'm in my capacity as the incoming member of County Assembly, Kologi Ward. Let me also take this opportunity to welcome you all to Homabay. We are looking forward for a very fruitful engagement and we're going to talk about the Kenya we want. Personally, if you may ask me, I want a Kenya that is corruption free, a country where youths, jobs are available for the youths, a country where our young mothers do not have to die because of lack of medicine, a country where I can express my views personally without fear of contradiction by the government. Thank you and welcome to Homabay. Asanteni sana.
By name I'm Jacob Butino Mulo from Homabay County, currently in Homabay town. When I want to speak about the Kenya we want, I want to speak as a youth. Somebody is still growing and somebody is still having a brighter future. Number one, we need a country or a country with better infrastructure, something about roads. We need good roads so that we can be able to do our businesses. Like here, I have my motorcycle here. I can be able to go anywhere, not only good roads in urban centers, but we also need good roads even in rural setup. Number two, we also need a good leadership. Most of our leaders nowadays, during politics, they come, they cheat the normal mwananchi with a lot of lies, but when it comes to governance and doing what is needed, some of them are not there. We need leaders who listens to the youths, who does what they're supposed to do, and who are there for the citizens.
My name is Jimire Omondi, a resident from Homabay County. I'm very much happy to be part of the Kenya that we want as a young person. The Kenya that we want is a country that a meritocracy takes the better part of the day, not kakistocracy, so that the young people are also respected and the dignity to be restored. Many a times the young people have different developmental programs, projects. It is stolen from them, and also the politicians take advantage of the young people, either financially vulnerable, you're being taken as a goon, and later being assassinated. We've seen many cases that young people are being killed publicly in places that we expect to protect us. For instance, we have a case of Omar, who is a young Kenyan, 28 years old, and also a student, was shot dead in one of the state functions, the Kikao, was being spearheaded by the PS, Youth Affairs, Fikrini Jacobs, which is very unfortunate. That function was supposed to encourage youth and be a platform that we get opportunities. But it comes a case that it becomes one of the places that we lose lives. This is not fair to the young people, and it cannot help the country economically to grow. So we are asking, and the kind of a country we want is that a space where youth can criticize the government freely and contribute economically to this country without being victimized and being assassinated.
We also want Kenya that youths are listened to. The youth should be included, they should be listened to, and they should also be given opportunity. The skilled youths, we have youths with degrees, youths with diploma, youths who are skilled from the TVETs, but we are not being given that opportunity that we need as youth so that we may impact our skills that we got from the institutions that we went to. Thank you.
Hello Kenyans, this is Atieno Hongo, a resident of Homabay County, welcoming you to the Kenya We Want campaign live edition.
These are so scary, but it's okay. I hope you're going to pick it up as we move. So welcome to today's live podcast, that is the Kenya We Want Homabay chapter. It's been a journey in Nyanza, and we started all the way from Kisumu, we went to Siaya, Migori, and today we are in Homabay. And I welcome us all. My name is Sherry Lolal. I'll be the moderator of the day. And I hope it's gonna be wow, and you're all going to enjoy, right? I want to hear your voices. We want to know that what is the Kenya that the youths of Homabay County want, and how then do we realize that this is the Kenya that we want? So I have the panelists with me, and I'm going to call them to the panel. So I'm going to read a brief bio, and you'll help me, the panel, with an applause. And the team from Homabay, the other team, we know how we do it, right? Yeah. So the next, she's a procurement and supply chain management professional, currently serving as the procurement officer at the Tubonge Uwazi Community Initiative, that is the 2CCBO, where she champions transparent resource management and community-driven development. She is a President's Fellowship Chandaria Awards Fellows, a climate senator with the Green Students Initiative, and a passionate advocate for sustainable development, a youth leader, and climate action. She is a dedicated community mobilizer, policy advocate, and TOTs under the Nyota program, that is the BDS1 and BDS2, where she also serves as a mentor, empowering young people with entrepreneurial, leadership, and life skills. As a peer provider with the Center for the Study of Adolescence, she advances adolescents and youth sexual and reproductive health rights and meaningful youth participation in decision making. She's driven by a vision of accountable leadership, inclusive governance, and community transformation. And she is an MCA aspirant for Kochia Ward, that is CAM 2027. She is committed to amplifying the voices of women and young people, strengthening public participation, improving access to quality healthcare and economic opportunities, and building resilience communities through integrity, service, and people-centered leadership. The young people in the room, help me welcome Sharon Olal, a honorable member and aspiring MCA Kochia Ward 2027. As she comes, until she sits, thank you so much for that. I'm going to welcome my second panelist. So my second panelist is a human rights defender who has stood on the front line and fought for the oppressed. He is known for his courage, his clear voice for justice, and his deep value for democracy. Because he believes freedom means nothing if it doesn't reach the last person in the room. Now, he is an aspiring MCA. He is channeling the same fight into leadership. He is passionate about accountable service, youth opportunity, and building a country that works for everyone. And for him, leadership is not about titles. It's about showing up, listening, and delivering dignity for every household. Youths in the house, let's applaud as Ian Obala, the incoming MCA of Kologi Ward, joins us. Until he sits, you can all see I have honorable members in the panel, right? So I'm going to welcome our third panelist. She is a lecturer by profession, a researcher, a community development practitioner, where her academic qualifications in Bachelor's of Mass Communications and an MBA in Strategic Management. She has extensive experience in teaching research, leadership, and community engagement across various universities. She is the founder and the CEO of Odeako Foundation, a community-based organization dedicated to empowering vulnerable communities through education, women empowerment, youth empowerment, and advocacy initiative. As a public relations consultant, she supports organizations in strengthening communication, stakeholder engagement, and public visibility. She is a passionate advocate for women's political participation and leadership. She champions gender equality, civic engagement, and inclusive governance. Her work focuses on mentoring leaders, promoting human rights, and creating opportunities for women and young people to participate meaningfully in decision-making process. She is committed to using education, advocacy, and strategic partnership to drive sustainable social change across Kenya. Guys, help me welcome Honorable Awino Otieno. I know she's an honorable, but she hasn't mentioned that. Until she comes, until she sits. Thank you so much for that. I'm going to welcome our last panelist. She's a civic educator, a digital democracy advocate, and youth governance leader from Homabay County. She has extensive experience mobilizing and empowering young people to participate meaningfully in governance, public policy, and democratic process. Her work focuses on strengthening civic engagement, promoting accountable leaders, advancing digital rights, and creating inclusive spaces where young people can influence decisions that shape their future. She is passionate about transforming youth voices in action and believes that meaningful participation is the foundation of a more just, inclusive, and democratic Kenya. Help me welcome Rose Opio as she comes until she sits. Thank you so much. So this is the panel that I have. You can see very beautiful faces and a very handsome young man. People from Kisumu, Migori, Siaya, make sure you get one, yeah? It's okay. So we are going to go right away. We are behind time, and we are going to start. We have our online people. We have people from the online platforms, and Dorothy is going to help us monitor the people that are in online. So once again, welcome to this dialogue. It is a safe space where we are going to hear from the panelists and the rest of us sitting in the room, right? Yeah, so I'm going to take this opportunity. I'm going to give us a mic. When I give you a mic, please take 2 to 3 minutes to expound on the question. And the first question that I'm going to ask is that, as a young person seated here in my panel, what is that Kenya that you want? What is that Kenya that you want to see as a young person in Kenya? As a young person in Homabay County, what is that Kenya that you want to see? So I'm going to start with Sharon, and she'll pass the mic as it goes.
Viva Wana Kenya, viva. Viva Youth, viva. It's a pleasure being here. I hope it's going to be a very participatory engagement. So from our first question, the Kenya that I want, from where I sit. So personally, I would want to see a Kenya where we enjoy equal opportunities as young people, where there is, the laws are being upheld, and there is, where leaders take accountability for whatever thing that they do. So I want a Kenya where we are able to express ourselves without being intimidated, without having to fear of what will happen to me when I get out there. So I want a Kenya where there is free participation, free involvement, and I want to see a Kenya where the young people are involved in the governance and in political spaces. And I want a Kenya where women will be given opportunities to stand and be leaders of this country, where we are not going to be intimidated just because you're a female aspirant or you are a female leader. So I want a Kenya where there is equality, where there is upholdment of the laws, and where the people we put in those spaces are able to take responsibilities. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Let me also take this opportunity to welcome you all to the County of Wendell Potential. She said earlier, my name is Ian. I am an aspirant, and I'm glad to be here. So if I go back to your question, I want a Kenya where every resources is accessible to every household. A country where our mothers do not have to die because of lack of medicine. A country where justice is not only preserved for the rich, but also the poor can get access to justice.
a country where we have a freedom of speech, where all can speak without fear or intimidation by the government, a country where youths get job with dignity, a country where the police do not abduct its own people, a country where the government do not kill its own people. Thank you very much.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. The Kenya I want is a Kenya that is real, not ideal. I want a Kenya with equal opportunities, especially in employment. I want a Kenya that when I see a job advert and I apply for it, and I'm capable, I'm experienced, I have the skills and the qualification, I can be able to get that job regardless of my tribe, regardless of my gender, and even where I come from. I want to apply a job in Nyeri County, and I get interviewed just like people from there, and I get interviewed and get that job. I want to apply in Nairobi County. The same thing should happen. I want to apply in Siaya, and I should get the same opportunities. I should not be asking who is the manager. Where does he come from? Is he a lady or is she? Is he a male or is she a female? Because I know that the systems are working, and I will be able to get that job because I'm qualified. I want a Kenya that I should not call somebody who knows somebody to put on some better words for me to get employed. And trickling down to Homabay County, as a Luo, I should not ask, where is that person from? Enja Ugenya, Enja Siaya, or something like that. Because even in those offices, somebody will be asking, where is she from? Because that is what is happening. Therefore, I want a Kenya that is free and give everybody the same opportunity. I want a Kenya where, as a woman, when I want to give birth, I do not write my will, because I'm not sure whether I go to the hospital, I'm going to come back. Basically because the systems are not working well. The doctors are not working well. Probably because they are not being employed well. So when every system is operational, when every person is accountable and responsible for their own responsibilities, I think that will be a functioning country, and that is the Kenya I want. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. I expect to hear our voices because we are, I know we have young people in the room. So going back to the question, what is the Kenya that I want? As a young person, I would also want to see a nation that is working for the young people, a nation that does not leave anyone behind, a nation that incorporates everyone's thinking, everyone's opinion in a way that will help us grow as a nation. Number one, I would want to see a nation where we have quality education, and not just quality education that translates into impactful employment. When we talk about employment, we know it's a huge burden. After going to school, how then can we get to a point where we go to school and then after school we have jobs, so that we are not frustrated as young people? I would also want to see a nation where no one is left behind in terms of inclusivity. I know as a nation we have several people who are living with disability. Can we get to a point as a nation where nobody speaks for them, where they can speak for themselves and get into platforms for themselves and advocate for themselves because they can do it? I would also want to see a nation where leadership is not about titles, where leadership is about service to the people, and where service to the people is a priority to the leaders. I would also want to see a nation where accountability is part of our day-to-day lives, because that is the only way we can get the quality of services that we need. I am really looking forward to that Kenya that I want. Thank you.
Thank you so much, my panelists, and we've all heard what they've talked about. all the way from education to better health and all the way to job employment. So I'm going to take this opportunity to open the floor for the youths in the room so that we can also hear from us that what is that kind of Kenya that you want? What is the Kenya that you want? Without wasting time, I'll pick 6 from the quorum. Someone please help me pass the microphone.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. I can stand. Thank you. Thank you so much for this opportunity. And the question that, what is the Kenya I want? And just to add on what the panelists have said, I also want a Kenya that is very safe. Safe in terms of I can do business and I don't feel insecure. In terms of security, politically, I can argue my political views and I am not intimidated. I want a Kenya that I can move from one county to the other and still feel safe. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I'm Pontian Ochieng from County of Endless Potential. As a young man or a young youth, this is the Kenya I want. I want a country free from corruption, whereby the resources of our people are not being squandered by few. I want a country where there's inclusivity. When it comes to job opportunity, when you qualify for it, you are being given irrespective of where you are coming from. Whether you are coming from which tribe, whether you are a female or a man, it should not be looked at. But it should be based on qualification. I also want a country where there's moral values. Our leaders must have moral values. And if they don't have moral values, it means that they won't serve us the way we want. They will serve themselves the way they want. I want a Kenya where there is equal chances, equal opportunity for each and every individual. And I said it. But all this won't happen if it doesn't start with us. It must start with us, we as the young youths. It is so much painful to get a young individual being used by a politician, going in the media, advocating for the Kenya we want, yet he himself, he doesn't have that moral value. In his community or area is unwanted. We can't accept that. So we as the young youths, we have to make ourselves be good based on moral values, integrity, and sometimes we seek the Almighty Father to give us wisdom when we are handling these things. So what I want to tell our fellow youths, it is not a matter of fighting politicians. It is not a matter of fighting individuals. It is a matter of you examining yourself and seeing that you are doing the right thing is when now you can lecture or you can tell a politician to do the right thing. You can't advise somebody to do the right thing, yet you are corrupt, yet you are a good. That is when you can advise our politicians to be good people. Lastly, I have to say this. You know, let us not base ourselves on national government or the county government. Please find a way of getting yourself in a political party. The moment you are getting through that political party, you have to understand who is your boss. You have to understand the agenda of that political party. But the problem with us, when we go there, most of the time of making manifesto, we say that if it is not us, then there's no discussion. That is not the way to go. We have to understand one another. Lastly, let us not assume, or let us not just thumb that we youth, we are the only way forward. We must respect the elders. For the purpose of the experience, we must learn from them sometimes. The moment you learn from them is when you talk in front of people, you can say points that can add value to your community or to your country. Thank you very much.
Okay, good morning. I'm Dorothy from Homabay. So to me, the Kenya I want is a Kenya where there is youth empowerment and women empowerment as well. The government should be involving us in opportunities like jobs and also giving us meaningful leadership positions. I also want a Kenya whereby there is ethical leadership, in that the government or the parties should not nominate someone with corruption history or record. Yeah.
Habari zenu kwa jumla. Langu jina ni Everton Odhiambo. Kenya yenye nataka ni Kenya yenye kama mimi kijana najituma. Mimi kama kijana nataka Kenya yenye mimi kama kijana najua Mwenyezi Mungu ndiye anapeana maisha. Kenya yenye nataka ni Kenya yenye mimi mwenyewe lazima nijikakamue, nijitume kwanza. Si ati naongoja mtu akishaenda pale hivi ndio sasa basi naona makosa yake. Mimi kama kijana, mimi ndio kiongozi wa leo, mimi ndio kiongozi wa kesho. Nisipoanza saa hizi hakuna mtu mwenye bazi naye atanirekebisha pale. Sisi kama kijana mwisho. Kama kijana tafuta nafasi yako. Asante.
Hi everyone. This is Joyce Guara from Homabay. So the Kenya I want a Kenya where youths are being involved in decision making. It's not that youths don't have ideas.
Yes, aseni. Mi Kenya nataka ni Kenya yenye nipatie tu time ni spit wisdom. Kenya nataka ni Kenya yenye tuli order from independence. Hiyo ndio Kenya naweza sema. From independence, our founding fathers walisema wanataka nation that is free from disease, poverty and ignorance. But saizi ni 63 years after independence. Bado tunaona kama kuna watu wenye wanakufa juu ya njaa. Kuna wamama wenye Yes. So hiyo ndio Kenya yenye tunataka. Ni Kenya yenye iko na hizo vitu zote. But the Kenya that we have at the moment is a Kenya that all that is lacking. Kenya yenye tunataka, the Kenya that I want, ni Kenya yenye promulgate constitution yake in 2010, the constitution that we promulgated in 2010. That says that we are proud of what? Of our ethnic diversity, ethnic and cultural diversity, and determined to live in peace and unity as one indivisible sovereign nation. But tuko na Kenya gani? Mali penye bado tunauliwa kama vijana. The police are still brutalizing young people. We are shedding blood. This time round blood yenye tuna shed si kwa wakoloni. Blood yenye tuna shed inatoka kwa gava yenye tumeelect under self rule. So the Kenya that we want is a Kenya that ina ensure ya kwamba tuko safe. Kenya yenye nataka is a Kenya where tuko na opportunity ya ku make sure that watu wenye wako na integrity, reformers, wako na opportunity ya kuwa elected down from MCA, MP, women rep, governor, up hadi kwa president. But tuko na Kenya gani? Sasa tuko na Kenya yenye Maraga chance yake ya kwenda binguni iko juu kushinda chance yake ya kuingia State House. We want a Kenya where people of integrity have got highest chance of getting themselves in this leadership position. Na tumeagree hapa, tulikuwa tukisema kwamba sisi wote mali penye tunagree ni kwamba tutumie political parties kama vehicles ya kupata the Kenya we want. Juu tuliona roles zenye political parties zina perform when it comes to hizi issues of policy and all these grievances that we are talking about. But then question yenye nauliza moja muhimu kwamba is getting in these political parties the end game? No. Tukishaingia kwa hizi political parties, tujiorganize in those political parties. Ili tuhakikishe ya kwamba while we are in those political parties, we as young people are the ones who stand the better chance of getting nomination tickets ili members wetu wajipate wapi? Kwa ballot at the end of the day. Juu tukiingia tu kwa political party and we strengthen those political party, but at the end of the day, the people that those political parties produce still do not come amongst us, then we will still be missing it. So we organize. Kuna hii election ilifanyika Olkolao. Sisi tumesema kwamba sisi ndio proponents of the Kenya we want. As the cohorts from Homabay, Kisumu and all these other counties zenye tumeform. Nataka tu agree ya kwamba sisi ndio tumeamua kwamba sisi ndio waanzilishi wa the Kenya we want. Na kama sisi ndio waanzilishi wa the Kenya we want, lazima tujiorganize ili tuhakikishe ya kwamba kama tuko na watu wetu wenye wanavai MCA hapa Migori, hapa Homabay, wenye wanavai MCA Migori, wenye wanavai MCA Siaya, wenye wanavai huko Central, wenye wanavai Coast, wenye wanavai in all these counties, tunaweza wa monitor na tuseme kwamba there is a member wetu mwenye anavai kule Bonet in this ward, and we must ensure that tunamsupport mali penye tuko ili win hiyo seat. Hatuwezi sema kwamba the Kenya we want and we are leaving our members to fight in isolation. I don't know kama mnanipata. Hatuwezi waacha wa fight in isolation, that tunasema the Kenya we want. By the time tumetoka hapa, kila mtu anaenda kuvai kivyake. After election ndio tutauliza hii analiendaje? Ponti analipata ama kupata? Stella aliendaje? No, we cannot do things that way. There is no way we can do things the same way every time and expect a different result. So lazima tujiorganize na tunataka to ask RI. Tukishamaliza hii story yenye tunafanya saa hizi, kama wanaweza tupatia opportunity the next phase ili tukuje tukae down, tutengeneze strategy on how we are going to track our members across the country ili tuhakikishe ya kwamba kila mtu mwenye anavai under the umbrella, sisi tumeshagree kama sisi ndio the proponents of the Kenya we want, we must track these people and make sure that we do what? We support them where they are. Hiyo election yenye ilikuwa Olkolao, we should have had our candidates there in DCP, in Jubilee, in ODM, whichever political party that was participating in Olkolao. tungekuwa na members wetu hapo ndani. And how are we supposed to support them? I am saying that we are supposed to leverage on what give us due advantage. Sisi kama watu wa Young, we are techno savvy, and we did it during the 25th June Gen Z protest, where we used the X space to make sure that we got to coordinate, we were mobilizing, and through space, we were almost bringing down rogue government. So that is what I want to ask us. The Kenya we want, if we are to realize it, we must make sure that we are ready to take that responsibility. We organize ourselves, we monitor our members everywhere across Kenya. Or else if we cannot do that, then this Kenya we want will just continue to be a slogan of Kenya we want, but we will not achieve what we really want. So hiyo ndio Kenya nataka. Thank you.
Nyasai Bear. Nyasai Bear. I don't know if you're okay, Nikika. Okay, this time. Yes, Nyasai Bear. Mbona mko hivyo mmenyamaza? Is this the Kenya that we want? Eh? Do we really want the Kenya that people are talking, wengine wame give up already? Have we given up? Yeah, my name is Ray. I'm from Homabay. I'm a young person. And the Kenya that I want is not too complex for the politician to understand. Perhaps they take things from the young people that we bite too much that we can chew, if I'm not wrong. It is 3 years to Vision 2030, Sindio. We are about 3 years to have our Vision 2030 to reality. But the question we need to ask ourselves is that, are we really there? Are we going to realize the Vision 2030 that we had in plan for this country? I want a country that people live with data. Data is very important. It's the most expensive asset and is the most important thing to use for planning. That is the country that I want as a young person. That as the young people that you are sitting in this hall today, that are you even aware that the World Bank gave a record that if this year, or about 1 million to 2.4 million youths are at a risk of being vulnerable economically, meaning a young person I spend more than 300 shillings as individual, 2.4 million. That is World Bank record. That as young people, a percentage of a population of 2.4 million, our easy spend more than 300. They are living below their limit. No. Most of these youth, 80% of population of youths wanna survive on informal jobs. You see, how can we formalize this informal sources of income for these young people? Unaambiwa as young person that kuna a lot of platforms that you can tap into and access loans or financial support, sindio? But when you tap into those systems, I was arguing with a fellow friend that AGPO, I believe you know AGPO. AGPO is access to government procurement, I think loans, something of the sort. These are a platform that wanna support young people to nini for tenders. You go unatafuta tender and then you do anything you contract you sign, you do your business. But getting tenders from that side is very easy than being paid from that side. You see, what are we doing as young people? Can we really exhaust this platform kama watu wadogo tujue we have this kind of platform and this kind of platform and this kind of platform? Are they really helping us as young people? Or are we the one who are not utilizing that platform? The same World Bank data shows that most of the people wanna borrow to just survive. Hawezi invest. The kind of money that we borrow, we survive on that amount. Meaning, you're probably borrowing money for food, or for shelter, for clothing, you see, which is not healthy for our economy. Primarily, borrowing should be that you borrow to invest so that that money pays that debt that you have, you see. And that is one of the things that is also affecting us as a nation. So the Kenya that I want and I'm very firm, and I believe that young people will also conceive this. A state where we are serious with our data. It is funny, it sounds funny that Kakamega has the largest number of ponds in this country, more than even Homabay. That has, I think Homabay has the largest part of this lake, Sindio? But Kakamega has the largest number of ponds that produces fish in this country. Check on that data, you see. We consume of about 900,000 fish in this country, but our production is about 300,000. So these people, the private investors like the Victory Farms, they come, they see that there is a gap. But ukiuliza a local Kenyan citizen that, samaki, how do you produce samaki in Kenya? Samaki ko mingi, go to Nyanza, samaki is there. But utapata tuko kwa live in every social media platform that, oh, we want change, oh, we want change. Then we say it, tunaisema leo, kesho tuko wapi? Are we there really to follow up on what we want really as young people? Unaona? That's why sometimes I differ with my fellow young people that nawaambia, it's not about a matter of that leader who is in that position. Because the corridors of power are very strange. I was privileged enough to be a leader at some young level of leadership in my life. Kwa ground vitu ni tofauti. Wanasemanga hivyo, kwa ground vitu ni different. I'm telling you today, if you're given that chance to become a leader, my friend, you are going to cling on that clause they say, at generational wealth. Everybody wants to make generational wealth from every position they get of leadership as young people. That is the narrative that young people drive today. So it's a question of character. Do we really want the Kenya that we want today as young people? Because mimi naitaka, wewe unaitaka, that's the question that we should ask ourselves. Wewe je, do you really want the Kenya that we want? Ama ni mimi naitaka na huyu anaitaka na huyu haitaki, you see? So I don't want to speak so much. I know as time goes by, you are going to have this conversation. But one thing I want you to see, check on data. That is very essential in planning. Because you cannot tell me that we are going to plan the Kenya that we want when we actually don't know that Homabay, we produce sorghum to the highest level. What wajui? I come from Ragwe constituency, Kochia ward. We produce pineapples, you see. But go to that place, you find that how many young people at my age who are interested in pineapple farming. You see, are we really involving these young people to do these things that we are the next generation? Is our future secured? That is my question. Is our future secured? Wale watu wakikufa, wale wazee wakikufa, yes, wataenda, they have limited time. No one knows who's going to die in the next hour or minute. But who is going to produce that agricultural product? Who is going to produce it? If young people are fully engrossed in white collar jobs ni kuenda kwa ofisi, kuvaa vizuri, kuvaa suti na kutoka. You see, sahi entrance is a young people, over 10 million every year to produce young people to the society. Sindio, wame graduate probably from university, from TVET, from vocational institute. Yes, wamesoma, wako na education qualities, but skills mismatch haiko. Mtu amefanya jeni journalist, but aezi simama mbele how to express himself as one. Ama aezi represent that character in alisoma, that profession. So, like, do we need educational skills? So, there's a lot of conversation that I believe you're going to have, but thank you so much.
Thank you so much to our audience in the room. A conversation that if I leave this microphone with us, then we can talk up until tomorrow, right? So you'll have to permit us for that. We are running with time.
Okay, to the members. Siaya, Migori, Isumu, now we are in Homabay County. And I've done my street conversation about the nature and the aspect of the Kenya we want. And the outcome that I get from those people, the kind of election we are going to have in 2027. Many Kenyans really live in fear. Are we going to have a credible election in 2027? Will the election be peaceful to Kenyans? That is a question that I want you people. I know we have some leaders here, and I believe they will be vying in their various seats. We have Israel. Will the election be paid in 7? Such kind of conversation we need to have. My impact on the conversation, we are giving a government, we are giving the leadership of President William Ruto to kindly assure Kenyans that election of 2027 is going to be free, fair and credible, and it is going to be peaceful, and each and every Kenyan migrate from urban Wakikuyu. That is the I want a Kenya where Goonism is not the order of the day. Today in Kenya, Goonism is what control the politics of Kenya. I want a Kenya where each and every individual is given free platform to his divergent opinion. I want a Kenya where mimi kama Bena Badala Chopper, I can express my views freely. And we are telling them, who has told you, you don't have a voice to speak. I want a free Kenya.
Thank you so much, Chopper. And we hope you as an MC aspirant, you don't have goons, eh? Now that you don't want goons, we hope you don't have goons here. So guys, we've heard from all of us the kind of Kenya that we want. We've spoke all the way, we've said that we want a Kenya that it's free from violence, without goons. We want a Kenya that provides opportunities for the young people. A Kenya that you can, after your studies, you can get a job without being asked where do you come from. A Kenya that is free from poverty. A Kenya where you can easily express yourself. So we've had this, and now the question is, if this is the Kenya that you want, how do we get to that Kenya? Do we go out and give our frustrations in the streets? Is that how we get the Kenya that you want? It is not only about going outside there, giving the frustrations. It's not only about speaking in this room and saying this is the Kenya that I want. But then there are steps that we have to take next to ensure that we achieve the Kenya that we want. And for that reason, I'm coming back to our panelists. So my question for us is that, how do we realize the Kenya that we want? And as we're going to do this, I urge our online team, please subscribe, keep your comments coming on the kind of Kenya that you want and how will you realize that you get to that Kenya. As for us in the team, ensure that you interact with our channels in the YouTube and on Facebook. We have the Sarah House. Kindly like, comment, and even share your ideas there for those of us who didn't manage to get the microphone to say the kind of Kenya that they want. You can also pose for a selfie, put it on your platform, tag us, the Sarah House, and you make sure to use the hashtag to participate, the hashtag the Kenya that I want. So my question to my panelists, as they are going to answer how do we realize the Kenya that you want, I would want us to consider the fact that we've had the aspirations of the young people in this room and their issues, the way they have said their frustrations in the community, and to becoming their frustrations and how they're going to become the public priorities that the government must respond to. So how does the government actually respond to citizens? I want us to consider the Kenya, how we realize the Kenya that you want in a way that you can express how does the government of Kenya actually responds to the citizens' issues, their needs. I would want us to also, as we have heard that the young people have spoken, they have posted, of course, we've complained, we've gone to the streets, we've carried flags, you know, we've used our online platforms to say we don't want this, we want this. And now, I want us to, but then it still does not, we've done all this, we've tried to reach out to our government in different ways, but we don't see change. What does it mean to move from expression to organized participation? One of the participants said that we must be organized. So what does it mean to move from expression to organized participation? from not just going to the streets, from not just speaking in these rooms and living at this moment? How do we organize ourselves? And also a question that I would want us to worry as we consider this. When young people say they want a better Kenya, who will actually have the power to make those decisions? Who has the power to make the decisions for the better Kenya? Where does the power sit? And who influences that power? Okay, so I'll start with you.
Thank you so much. This is very interactive, and I like the way we are sharing our ideas and our views. It's very valid. And so maybe if I go to the question that you've been asked, how can we realize the Kenya that we want? We've put out our ideas. We have very many good ideas on how we can realize the Kenya that we want. And so from where I sit, I think one thing that we really need to do as the young people to get the Kenya that we want is elect leaders who are competent and have integrity. We can't keep complaining every other time, yet we are the same people who go to elections, and on the eve of the elections, the politicians buy us with some token, some 200 bob, some 500 bob, and the next thing we know, we are recycling the same old politicians we've been crying about, or the same old leaders that we've been crying about. So we will never realize all this that we want unless we change our strategies, unless we say, now as young people, we are tired of this type of leadership, we want a change, and the change will start from you and me. And another way we are going to realize this is, let me just ask, tuko kadi? Are all of us voters? Do we have our voting cards? Tuko kadi? So kama tuko kadi, tutoke during elections days so that we go there and elect these credible leaders that we want to see holding those spaces. But I realized recently, last year when we were having by-elections in Kasipul, Kabondo, the young people or the Gen Zs, we are very vocal when it comes to the social media. But when you go down to the polling stations, you will realize it was only the old people who are voting. The young people were nowhere to be found. But we are the very same people who are vocal out here talking about we want a Kenya that looks like this, we want a changed Kenya, we want this. But we don't take the initiative to go out there and create that change that we so much want. So I will encourage all of us that, one, for us to have the leadership that we want, for us to realize the Kenya that we want, to kue kadi, and when there is, and during elections, let us go out there and vote in large numbers. And another thing, maybe that will come in the next question, but the change starts from us. And she asked another question that we want power, and who holds the power? What does Article 1 of the Constitution say? Anybody from the congregation? What does Article 1 of the Kenyan Constitution? Power belongs to the people. We are the one who holds the power. But then we do not want to act upon the power that you've been given freely. And one thing that I realized that the Kenyan Constitution is one of the best constitutions in East and Central Africa. Like, so many countries come to see and just learn from the privilege that we have as the Kenyan people. Sisi took on a lot of privileges, but does it really work for us? The Constitution clearly stipulates that the power belongs to the people. That is the first article of the Constitution. But do we hold the power as the people? Do we make the decisions? Do we elect leaders who will give us, or who will make us realize the Kenya that we so much want? So it is upon us to take the power that the Constitution gives us and then be able to elect or put people who are leaders and not politicians into those parties or in those leadership. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Let me also add my voice on how to achieve the Kenya I want. Number one, I'll say join political parties. But then even if we join those political parties, most of our leaders have taken our youths to be flower girls. Problem comes when it comes to the decision-making table. where youths are not given their mandate to air their voices. We are only important in terms of our campaigns. So as much as we want to join political parties, and Magero said something that I liked, that political parties are vehicles to achieve in our elective positions. Fair enough. But are we doing what is right as political parties? Our youth has been used. We are only important in terms of when we are campaigning for these politicians. So as much as we want to join these political seats, let us not be used as flower girls, but let us also demand our positions at the decision table. Number two, I'll say, let us follow up these budgets. Some budgets are passed on the county assemblies, but we don't follow up. Our leaders mess up with them, then we don't achieve the Kenya we want. Secondly, I'll also say this conversation is very timely. And I'll say a revolution has started, that our youths are awakened by the events of the June 24th, the Gen Z protest. And the majority of Gen Zs have realized and have realized that most of these politicians, they take our kindness for weakness, for lack of a better term. Secondly, let us go to these county assemblies. Let us vote and vote with a plan. Let us not recycle all leaders that eat and consume our resources. Let us follow up the budgets. Let us check. Let us be informed, as like my fellow said. And I believe all shall be well. Thank you.
Thank you once again for the opportunity. So, to respond to how we achieve the Kenya that we want, we are talking about youth joining political parties. That is so good, and it is something that we should all do. We should all do, and I'm a member of a political party. I wouldn't disclose that for my security purposes. So, when I come back to political parties, it is a house, but we are the people that we should ask ourselves, are we integral enough? Are we disciplined enough? Because that is the bottom line, but that is the driving force. Some other time when we're talking on probably security and the police department, and to be specific on traffic issues, some time back we saw some members of parliament. I think all of us know about the trend that some time back about the Taka and the brother Taka. You remember that trend? There was an issue, and it became because of the way they were driving. I had a mentor who used to tell me that when you are on the road, assume that you are the only normal person and every other driver is abnormal. Basically, because of the way people behave on and this makes it even difficult for our traffic police to work, because we make so many mistakes and then you don't want to account for it. That is another thing. Are you accountable enough? Can you be able to be disciplined in a way that you understand that there are other people who are using the same resource as you, and in this case, they are the roads. Are you disciplined enough to drive carefully so that you don't cause accident and don't cause other people death? But you already know you are on the wrong. When the police stops you, you pull him or her aside so that you can bribe them. So that is another thing. We are not disciplined enough. And we are the mirrors. When you elect a leader, you look at yourself first. And when you're not disciplined, definitely you're going to elect somebody who is not disciplined as yourself, because that is what you reflect. Look at your neighbor. If you were to vote at this particular time, just look at your neighbor. Do you think they are disciplined enough? Do you think they have the integrity that a leader should have? Why don't you look at your neighbor, please? This is just just look at your neighbor. Chopper, angalia Paul na Paul angalia Chopper, just like that. And just answer it. Do you think that person is integral and disciplined enough and accountable enough to occupy that seat as your leader? Does she or he reflect the kind of a leader that you want? Because even those leaders who are there, they were once seated in places like us, and you saw in that person mwenye anakupatia 500 ukanunu ndio mvotie, you saw that person as a good leader. So who are you? Are you in the best position to judge that leader? You can't, because you don't have the weighing scale, or you can't even put that person on a pedestal. So as youth, before we complain, let's reflect on ourselves. As a youth, you go around the market eating ndizis ovyo ovyo. You are chewing the sugar canes and throwing them aimlessly. Can you tell a child to pick that thing when you already threw it? Can you do that? At what capacity? Because even the child will ask you, even you threw yours. And our children at this age, they ask, they don't assume. We used to assume when an elder person does a mistake and they tell us to correct, we will just do it quietly. But these of today will tell you, pick yours first and then I'll pick. That is the discipline that I'm talking about. When I see my leader, anakula pesa kwa ofisi. As a youth, I also want a part of it, because I'm going back home from here. My question is, what am I going to eat? What am I going to use? Probably uko hapa na ushapigiwa simu na cousin, ama shosho ni mgonjwa. You don't have that money to pay for the hospital, because probably haujalipia SHA. It's 6,000. Haujalipia per year, and that probably is the lowest. So what will happen? Ninaenda kuona mheshimiwa anipatie kitu kidogo. And what I'm doing is the same thing that I will do when I get to that office. I'll try to make as much as possible before I start working for us people. So the bottom line is, before we get into those offices, let us be disciplined. Let us be people with integrity. Let us be accountable in all manners, in all spheres. Let us be people who can really stand and judge themselves before they judge other people. And that is the only way, even as we occupy those parties, because how can we tell our leader to do ABC when myself, even if I'm given that opportunity, I will not do it. So charity begins at home, and that home is yourself and myself as a youth, so that we can be able to realize the Kenya that we want. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Talking about the how is normally not easy, right? Figuring out the how in everything you do sometimes is not very easy. So even for us as young people, the how is not particularly getting into the county assembly or getting into parliament to be able to figure out the how. I would say that the Kenya that I said I wanted, we have several things that we have to do as young people to get to that point. Number one, to have civic responsibilities as well. What part are you playing to get the Kenya that you want as an individual? Number one, we are not going to get the Kenya we want when we get to 2027. We are going to get the Kenya we want when we begin from where we are. For example, as a young person, you have a mandate to be able to participate in the several electoral processes that we have. And most of us, we only wait for the voting process, peke yake. The other processes we ignore. As a young person in Homabay County, to be precise, we have a cluster model of public participation, where the public participation starts at the ward levels. We get from the cluster levels, you go to the sub-ward, to the wards. What Homabay, does that happen in your areas? It does, yes. How many of us are participated in the last public participation? What Homabay? How many of us? Yeah, just a few of us. And we want, there is a Kenya we want. How then will we realize that Kenya we want when we are not getting into these spaces to participate? You'll complain that a road next to your home is bad. But when people are putting priorities during the budget making processes, you are always not there. Who then will amplify the voices? Who then will make it work if you don't get into those spaces? So number one, the how. Always ensure that as a young person, you participate when we have public participation, when it is called upon in the community, let us go there, let us place our views, and that is the only way we'll get them articulated. And remember, as a nation, when we're talking about public participation, we are at the level of tokenism. You want me to come for the public participation? Yes. Utanipea ngapi? Tukimaliza tunapewa ngapi? That is where we are. And that is why, before we go to the cluster model of public participation, they would come, a whole booklet is read in less than 30 minutes and public participation is done. And that is why you'll find a borehole is sunk at a place where there are several other boreholes. Meaning the priority of people in that area was not water. But because their opinion was not asked for, they are given something that they didn't want. And that is why women from that area will still go kilometers away to get water when they are leaving water there, because that was not their priority. So as young people, let us always try and participate in the budget making processes from the initial stages, so that when we are from the sub-ward to the wards, when they come back to reflect, are these really the priorities you gave? We are there to stamp, we are there to confirm that truly these are the things that we wanted. Apart from getting into participating into the budget making processes, we also have a mandate. As young people, do we know that we don't have to get into the already established political parties to succeed? As young people, can we get to a point where we can bring ourselves together? Even for us who are vying, can we get to a point where we can do social vetting for the leaders that you want? If someone wants to become an MCA, come tell us what you'll do for us. And if you want to be an MCA chopper, you get to listen to the people. What do they want? Because if you go and tell them what you want, at the end of the day, maybe your priorities are not aligning with what they want. Get to hear from the people. What do you want? Then align your priorities, your manifestos, your agenda with what the people want. If we do that, then now we'll be doing something different from what the old recycled leaders have been doing. Can you go down there and listen to the people? What do they want? And then once you get what they want, we can get together as young people. We do social vetting. This is what we want. Will you do for us this when you get there? Then we get into social contracts. What will we do then if you don't do for us the priorities that we've given you? That way, someone gets there and they get accountable because they know they signed a social contract with their people that if you don't do this, then we have this, your runners up. They can come in and take your positions. So as we work towards getting the Kenya that you want, we really need to figure out the how. Can we get down there to the grassroots and start a meaningful participation in terms of budget making processes, so that if you ask someone that we don't have hospitals, that particular hospital that you are talking about, was it prioritized? Is it in the budget? Does it have an allocation? Then who is responsible for it? So that we talk from a point of knowledge. We talk from a point of what we know really exists. So as young people, we have a lot of tech power, right? We have a lot of tech power. Can we get to a point of translating this tech power into action? The same way we can talk in social media, the same way we can run campaigns in social media, can we run the same campaigns from our grassroots so that all these that we want are shaped from the grassroots and we are able to really realize meaningful change? Thank you.
Thank you so much to my panelists. That was a really good discussion. For our online viewers, kindly keep your points coming. For us in the room, we can comment in our social media, just as you have said, Sarah House on Facebook and on YouTube. Please keep your points coming there. Tell us how do you realize the Kenya that you want? And for that reason, we've had our panelists talk about political parties. Several of them have pointed on political parties to be drivers to those seats. And now my question is, what is the role of political parties in delivering the Kenya that we want? What is the role of political parties in delivering the Kenya that we want? Please make it as brief as possible so that we get back to our audience in the room to also tell us the Kenya that they want, how the political parties can deliver the Kenya that they want. I'm starting with my panelists, then I'm going to bring the mic back to the audience. What I've said is that, I've said that on the how we realize the Kenya that you want, let us keep them posted online. And Dorothy, are you in a position to read for us the audience, what they're saying? Yeah, you can just give us what they are saying so that you can also hear from our online audience, then we get the mic back to our panelists.
Okay, thank you. The comments are many, and we are grateful for the online viewers who have and as the conversation continues, we'll continue. There's somebody who has said the government spends over 800 billion in educating young people, but not industrializing the nation. Where do young people go? So he's asking a question, where should young people go once they're educated and they don't have a place to go to? Again, the same person says young people must know that old ones will build for them, then they enjoy, they must build, then they enjoy, they must build. So this online viewer is just trying to encourage young people to put their hands together with the old people so that together we can grow the country and get to the country that you want. There's somebody called the Wise Fool of 4636, interesting name. They say, lovely conversation we have. I want a Kenya that the young and the vulnerable will not be used as a ladder to get more resources to steal. The youth need to be part of all stages of nation building. Again, Ochieng Moses says, the Kenya I want is a Kenya where ngama ori. That is to, if I translate that from Luo, that means the person who has sent you matters while you have all the requirements needed to get the job. He's just venting his frustration about the processes that young people have to go through when they are looking for job. We have Nyaboke who says, nataka Kenya ambayo niko na haki na majukumu. Asante sana Nyaboke, zidi kukua nasi mpaka tutakapomaliza hii conversation yenye tuko nayo ikiendelea. Nikichukua moja mbili za mwisho ni kusema kuna Tradi Sarikti Kitchen 5563, lakini wa jamani simtumie tu jina zenyu. Anasema County of Endless Potential, the Kenya I want, Homabay County, let's engage. Anatuhimiza kuwa kila mtu tupate kuongeza. Mwishowe kuna mtu anaitwa People's Peace. Anasema the youth need to use their newly acquired awareness on the influence of political parties as key democratic structures and systems on policy, legislation and governance. Demands must be made. I pause it there for now. Have the microphone. Online viewers continue engaging with us. We'll continue reading your comments when we get the opportunities. Cecil, microphone.
A big thank you to our online audience. So as you're going to respond to the question that I've asked, I've just said that how does political parties ensure that it delivers the Kenya that you want? So as you're going to answer this question, let us budgets and laws. Then we can also think about how can political parties, okay, I've said how can political parties help deliver. So the question that I've posted is that how do political parties influence policies, budget, and laws? Then we've had, we remember that young people after elections, they think of political parties to be there only during elections. But then after elections, you find that most of young people wanna drop. They leave the parties. And so as we can see, or rather what has been happening is that they only think of political parties when it comes to campaign, and now political parties have been transitioned to campaigns. So why would we still ask political parties, like why would we still ask the youth to remain in those political parties even after elections? Is there importance for them staying in those political parties, or is it just okay for them to drop political parties once the campaigns are over and the winner has been elected or announced?
Okay, thank you so much for that. I think it's important for us to join political parties because, as we all know, policies, laws, and legislation, everything is made in the parliament. And so, as a young person, you are not in any political party. You want your views to be addressed. Where are you going to air your views? So once we join these political parties, and we just, I like the way Magero said, we just don't join and then we become flower girls or flower boys. We join political parties and participate. And that is actually our hashtag, to participate. You join a political party and participate in that political party. So when decisions will be made, when it is time to make decisions, you will be there to air your views and say exactly what you would want be done for you. And as we always say, there is nothing for us without us. So how then will anything be done for you if you are not there to present whatever it is that you want to be done for you? So as young people, I would encourage all of us, let us join political parties. There are several of them in our country. Join one that aligns with you and participate in that political party so that when we have numbers in our political parties, usually we know in the assemblies or in the parliament, it is either the minority or the majority. Wewe na hiyo, if you go there as an independent, it's not bad. Akunanga option ya kukuuliza wewe kama independent unasema aje. It's either the majority or the minority. So if we both, or if all of us join these political parties, and to maximize on those political parties, when now policies will be made, when they will be asking for views, what is it that you want to be done for you? You will be able to articulate your issues, you will be able to share your views, and they will be able to be represented. So I would encourage all of us to join political parties if we want to see the change that we really want to see. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Political parties, I can say, are training grounds. We've all have heard about the coalition buildings. There's what is going around currently. The broad-based government has entered into a discussion with the current government. That is where you are taught how coalition building are being done. That is where policies are being reshaped. That is where we come to learn how policy reforms, how party functions are undertaken. So I can say here that political parties act as training grounds. Number two, political parties is the only tool we are left with currently, other than demonstrations, to demand what we want as youths. That is why there's an hashtag going, occupy political parties. The moment all of us can join a political party and demand for your voices to be heard, I'm sure we can take this country ahead. The only reason we have not waken up, we have not realized the power that we have, That is why these guys manipulate us. Now join that political party. Air your voice. Like I said, act there meaningfully. Engage your leaders meaningfully. Don't act as flower girls. Don't be important when it comes to campaigns and media interviews. Let us demand for our space, and like everyone says, if you're not part of that table, we'll have to break that table. So this conversation is very timely, and I encourage everyone of us, join political parties. That is the only vehicle that we're left with. Other for the rights that we want to achieve as young Kenyans. Asante sana.
Thank you. So we are talking about the importance of joining those political parties. And I'll take it on the point of after the election. Probably you joined the political parties, and maybe you are even an aspirant. Kuna kushindwa na kuna kushinda. So sometimes unaweza shindwa. Don't get out of the party. Just be there. Endelea na hizo function, because in Kenya, really, I can't tell the when it is not campaign period and when it is campaign period, because immediately after voting, campaigns begin. Is it so, my people? So immediately we vote, campaigns begin. So you as a youth in those political parties, utaendelea kupikwa mpaka uive. By the time the next election comes in, itakupata kama umeshaiva vizuri, ichiek maber. Makori inyalo chung na ufanye nini? Na ushinde. So one, it will develop your leadership skills. It will equip you with necessary resources that will help you in your campaign, probably for the next, and even in between, because issues usually arise. Maybe there are some committees that needs members there. And as youth, who is very active, not just a dormant member, you are an active youth. Your members knows you. The party leader knows you. And that this position that needs appointment, it will be very easy for them to appoint you in those positions when you are a member of those political parties, because they will not leave the house and go get somebody outside. You have been with them. So that is one advantage of being in those political parties, even after election, even if you lost the election. Another thing, youths are very innovative, and they have a very clear view of how things happen, meaning that pachgileo in Kijaluo. So what happens is that you can always bring up new ideas. You can always come up with new innovation and then put them on the table for the leadership and advise on how they can go about them. You know what youths want. We know what youth want as youths, and we know what we can do. So when we are out, these things cannot happen. Just like somebody said, they will not ask you as an independent. ODM, UDA, UDP will not ask an outsider what they think should be done, but they will talk inside the party and come up with ways on how to do different things. Like they said, if you are not on the table, you become the menu, utakulwa. Sawa sawa. So as youth, we should try to be on. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. Talking about political parties, we know how much political parties are important. But the question is, for us as young people, parties. Why do you join a political party? Do you join a political party because you feel like you don't have enough funds for campaign, and therefore, what you look for in a political party is support? That is the first question we are going to ask ourselves. Are we going to join political parties so that we are always, we relate with the famous political party? Or are we joining political parties so that we are protected? Why are we joining political parties? As we ask ourselves why we are joining political parties, we need to understand that being a member of a political party is important. Number one, if you are a member of a political party, they will be able to support you. Sometimes when you are doing your campaigns, if you are vying for any position. And let us remember that the functions or the importance of being in a political party does not begin at the election stage. Remember, before we get to the point we launch a political party, there are several things that go on. There are formulation of manifestos. What are the manifestos of that political party? You as an individual who is vying, what are some of the things that you relate to? What are some of the things that your values align to as a leader? So you need to be part of a political party as soon as you can, so that you are able to have your views put in when you are doing the formulation of the manifestos and even the party agenda. Because if you're not part of the party agenda, meaning if you just join a political party for support, you are there as a youth, yes, but is the ideas of the youth captured? Are the needs of the youth captured in that particular political party that you are representing as a youth? Sometimes for us as young people, we really strive to get into these positions, but once we get there, we serve our own selfish interests, forgetting that sometimes we go there to represent many people. We say that Article 1 says, we the people. We the people, and that is why we do representation, because not all of us can get into parliament to negotiate or to legislate. But if you go there as a young person, if we entrust you with a leadership position and you are vying with the particular political party, can you be part of the agenda formulation so that our issues as the young people or the issues of the people you're going to represent are taken care of in the party agenda? That is number one. Number two, when we get to elections, we need to remember that having a political party is like the political party itself runs the government. Ama namna gani? Yes, the ruling political party rules the government. So if you want to become change, if we want to become people who drive change, then number one, as we get into those political parties, let us ensure that once we are there, we change systems. How? You cannot change a system when you are watching from afar. You can only change that system when you are involved in that system, and therefore, we know that the ruling political party is ruling the government. So if you want to be part of the government and to be part of change, then you need to belong to a political party. And then also let us remember that the ideologies, the manifestos that a political party has during the campaign periods, after elections, these manifestos change into policy ideas. I hope we know that as young people. Because if a political party has manifestos and they get into power, they would always want to see the manifestos that they gave, the agenda that they have is being pushed through that particular political party. So if we are part of these political parties, then we can be sure that even as we try to drive change, that our ideas are captured, because now our party is the ruling party. And also the next point that we need to really ensure that we are part of this rules the majority caucus, both in the county assembly and in the parliament. Do we agree? Yes, because there will be some agenda or some proposal on the table, but the majority always has it, right? So if we get into a political party where at the initial stages our manifestos as young people was captured, and then the party agenda, our ideologies are part of the party agenda, then now if our political party rules, it is easy for us to be on the majority side, and therefore we are able to influence decisions. So let us not get into political parties for fun, for fame, for protection. Let us get into these political parties to create meaningful change in these parties, so that at the end of the day, if it becomes a ruling party, or if you don't become a ruling party, but you'll be having the power to influence decisions from where you are. And also, being in a political party sometimes, as a young person, maybe you join a political party and it is already established. It has every system established. What then can you do? We were having a conversation of, as young people, can we get to a point of coming together as young people with the same ideologies, with the same mindset, with the same focus, to form a political party that aligns with us, so that we can get into that political parties and push our agenda through that political party? Because sometimes it becomes really hard for you to get into someone's family, a family that is already established, ata labda iko na hadi wajuku, then you want to bring your new rules. It is not easy, right? But when you form it from its initial stages, you are able to really carry your ideas, and if you get to a point of ruling as a political party, you can imagine how easy it will be for us as young people to push our agenda through a political party that we formed ourselves. So even as we join other political parties that are already established, can we start thinking of how can we as young people come together and have political parties that have manifestos that align with us, that have manifestos that push our agenda as young people, and a manifesto, a political party that articulates the agenda of Gen Zote. Are we together? Sometimes we don't get to Gen Zs alone. Sometimes the Z sometimes now has translated to not just Gen Zs, but Gen Zote. So that we have the ideas of both the old and the young people together, because we cannot rule this nation alone. So as we talk about the Kenya we want, as we talk about the how, as we talk about the importance of political parties, ask yourself why you're joining a political party, but once you're there, participate meaningfully and bring change, the real change that you want as young people. Thank you.
Thank you so much to my panelists. As they have mentioned, is that we all need to be in political parties kwa a die-hard fan. Hata ukioshwa na tiketi ya party, bado kwama tuko party, si ndio? Yeah, because parties, election doesn't only end in elections, but then we also have nominations. How are you going to be nominated? Only if a party knows you is when they can nominate you. Na party wezi nominate mtu mwenye si die-hard fan. Oshwa mara 10 watakunominate. It's okay. I'm going to open this platform now to the youth in the room. I know we are going to have different ideas when it comes to political party. Kuna wenye tumeoshwa na party. Kuna wenye relatives wetu wameoshwa na party. Kuna wenye parties zimesimama na sisi, si ndio? I'm going to give this microphone. Whoever is going, Cecil, if you're going to take this microphone round, ensure it's 6 people. Let us keep it to a maximum of 6 people to save on time, because it's past 1. And give your ideas. You are free to talk. You are free to say a political party is good. You are free to say a political party is bad. But consider that still a political party is ndio kusema. Huku Homabay tukiamua tunasema 6 piece. That is a party, si ndio? Yeah. Cecil.
Thank you so much for this opportune time to be able to air my views regarding political parties. And I think at this point now we have to come to the facts and realities that we have to face as young people. That one, systems and structures that are in place are the drivers of the aspirations we want and the aspirations that there is something that is actually ailing us as young people. It is the way the government... What is wrong with this microphone? Thank you. The government is spending so much money educating young people. basic education, compulsory, all that. It is even in the constitution. As we speak, the government of Kenya spends over 800 billion shillings to educate young people. You go to primary school, there's money for you. In junior, JSS, all that way. Then when you go to college, there's also money for you to make sure that you go to college, regardless of your performance. If you have even an E, there will be a polytechnic for you. The government will spend money on you. If you succeed to go to universities, they will give you some loans that you will be paying. But something happens after education. There's no opportunity for you after education. So you become educated, you are informed, you are in an environment which respects the Bill of Rights and everything, but you have no activity that helps you generate income. What that means? It means that now you will have to rely on those people whose families have. Those people who, in one way or another, might have left school somewhere and started something to help you live on this planet. And that is why when political parties come, when elections come, when campaigns come, you will need money for transport to go to a venue as a young person. You will need money to buy water in that venue as a young person. You will need money for bundles to air your views online as a young person. The question is, these people who are giving you this airtime, these monies, will they allow you to be in charge? They may not. And if they allow you to be in charge, you'll be somewhere down here, not where you want to be. Now, we have to accept this. So many political parties are coming up in Kenya right now. And it is because people have learned a lesson that the new constitution and the things that are flowing going forward will require people to have political parties. If you want to do something meaningful in this country, if you have to bring up numbers anywhere, at what stage, you must be in some form of structure. That is why even people who have been impeached, they are forming political parties. We also need to know that as much as we are going to join parties and demand that old people leave us opportunities, lazima tujue hata kwenu babako hawezi kuachia familia uran without experience, ati umeamuka tu leo. So we must be very radical. We look at the parties that are there, the positions that are there, and we be deliberate. Si ukienda kwa hapo uanze kuitisha pesa, itisha positions. If you can't form one, hijack one and go flow with it. If you can't form one party, hijack one and flow with it. Thank you.
Please, 2 minutes. Finally, thank you. My name is Basil Odhiambo, incoming MCA Kajulu Ward with a Jubilee ticket. Allow me first to talk about the Kenya I want. I want Kenya where the government use 70% of revenue to do development and not to pay salaries. Number 2, I want Kenya where elected leaders are not flower girls to the executive, but doing oversight role to the government. Talking about a political party, I think it's not just about joining political parties, but it's about even participating in a grassroots political parties election. I think that's where we should start from. Be part of that election, be part of that leadership so that we bring changes that we want. Thank you.
Good afternoon. So personally, I did not introduce myself. I'm Otieno Stephen or Spataomi. And one thing I have to say as a young person, I believe that political party is the way to go, because where we've come as a country today is because of the political party. We were not, nothing impediment us from growing because the structure of the party that ensure that a common mwananchi lives a better life today. There's a lot that we have achieved with political party, let me say ODM. And that is a true definition that if we get a party that believes in the growth and believes in the ambitions of the country, then it means that we as a Kenya, we are going to be at a stable place. And I will urge everybody that is listening that there's nothing we can do without a party, because parties are structured that always ensure that your voice is being heard. If we are in a party, nobody can block you from moving. And that's why me as a young person, naambia watu wanaona hapo nje, to join party, to strengthen party, to ensure that party inaambatana na yale matakwa ya mwananchi wa kawaida. Asante.
Yes, my name is Chacha, Peter from Homabay County. What I can say is that political parties brings us together, not only from our county, not only from our county level, but region and even the whole country as a whole. For example, when I give example with the ruling party, that is UDA. UDA has brought people together, not only from Rift Valley, but all regions of Kenya have been brought together by the political party. ODM, the same, the largest political party in the country, has brought people together. So I can say political party is very important in our country for us to grow politically and any other growth that brings Kenyans together. Thank you.
Thank you, Engineer Ken. I just want that we need to know that the political parties are the vehicle that drive us to Kenya that we dream of. The question was that which role does the political parties play to deliver the Kenya we want? Which Kenya do we want? We want a prosperous country. We want a peaceful country. We want a country where there is accountability, a county that is equity in distribution of resources. So it is the role of the political parties. The political parties identifies the young professionals, the women, and the people of accountability, the people of integrity to deliver the service. So it is us as the young people to join the political parties so that we can be involved in the party structure to play a big role in making decisions in terms of the service to the people so that we achieve what we want to live in the country. Thank you.
Thank you. Viva, comrades, viva. More power to the people, more power. Who are the people? We are the people, sindio? Kwa majina naitwa Dikorongo. For this conversation, I think why political parties? That's the question. Why political parties? We saw the Gen Z movement. We saw what they were about, ideology-based, issue-based, organizing around issues. And they were a force, sindio? A very huge force. But the issue is the people who are making decisions are using democratic processes and democratic structures. And movement don't feature within those structures. And that's why you saw the Gen Z movement
couldn't capture power, because as a movement, when you have ideas, you want to actualize them through policy and legislation, and that one needs structured processes yenye muna occupy legislative bodies and the executive, and for you to do that is through political parties. Ndio maana saa hizi Linda Mwananchi imetoka as a movement, they have traction, but they cannot achieve power without a political party. So they will have to transition into a political party. Munaelewa? So ndio wanaweza endelea hivyo kwa Linda Mwananchi, but they will never achieve power kama wana tools za kuget power. Na hiyo ni political party, ndio lazima muingie kwa chama. Ndio maana tunasema kama mko na ideas that you want to push, ama you want to propose, ama you are so passionate about, you have to find political parties that align and resonate with those ideas that you have. Then through those party structures, una influence political party manifesto, una influence political party policy about decisions, and even the outlook of the party ikikuja kwa ideology, kama ni social democracy ama anything else. So these are things that we really need to bring an awareness about sisi kama mayouth. So we are not saying we enter into parties for the sake of it. We are saying we engage and make sure we do so in numbers and in an organized way and very structured, that sisi ndio tuna invade and occupying those spaces za power. Ndio sasa tuingie kwa executive na tuingie kwa legislature. There was a time watu wanasema bunge ya sasa imerudi down, haina power, iko compromise, ndio? That is because political party leaders are not in the bunge, wako nje. So bunge inakuwa ni puppet ya watu wako nje. When the time when political party leaders were in the floor of the house, akina Raila, nani Kibaki waliko kwa floor of the house, I don't know if we remember that before this constitution, the parliament was very strong than the executive. Na ndio maana walikuwa wanaweza challenge hata mtu kama Moi. Una get? Even though he was a dictator. So once the political party leaders came out, their bunge inakuwa puppeteered by them. So we need to understand that facet of it, and we need to make sure we are engaging, aware of decisions ziko wapi na zinakuwa made wapi, na power iko wapi, na power ni kwa political parties.
Last person. Kwa majina ni Emmanuel Otieno, mimi ni mkazi wa kaunti ya Kisumu. Ningependa kusema mimi kwanza ni mwanachama wa chama cha ODM. Kwa wale ambao wanatutazama huko nje, tukiwa ndani ya chama, hapo ndio tutafanya mageuzi. Ukiwa ndani ya chama kutakuwa na maendeleo. So kwa yule yoyote ambaye anataka kupata mabadiliko, lazima ukue ndani ya chama. Ndio maana tukiwa hapa Homabay tunasema to participate. Hiyo to participate ni ya kwamba tukue kwa chama yoyote ile ambayo wewe unaamini itakupeleka mahali. So tukitoka hapa tukienda nyumbani, wacha tukue ndani ya chama. Asanteni sana.
Thank you so much for honoring me this time around. I really felt biased. My name is Seli Manyala. I come from Homabay County in a sub-county called Dhiwa. I am in the civil society as the chair for the civil society organization. And I want to thank you for calling me here. I will be specific to the prospect. If I read the banner, at the banner, I see to participate. I can also segment it from to party, and specifically I also see party. So I will, the three segment inform why we are here and the outcome back in the community. I want to concur with the rest speakers who have also yielded fruit as to why party is important, and most importantly to the young people. Yesterday, we were called young peoples are the leaders for tomorrow. But we are the leaders for today. We are in a transition where we have the Gen Zs who at a given point were partyless. But if I anchor this with the Kenya we want, I am asking myself where Kenya will be in the next 10 or 20 years if truly we drive the slogan partyless, leaderless. So it is important to segment the reason as to why being in a political party is important. But in the other side, we also need to look deeper into why it is important. So that as much as we will be out from this congregation, we go back knowing that we have identified maybe the starting point. And that, to me, I would say that we also need to think around localizing political parties. Most importantly in Luo Nyanza, where we have maybe ODM as a dominant political party. It is our time as young people to localize parties. Let us go for these political parties regardless of whatever party. So that as we go down, we go meet people from different clans, but from same political parties. So that we don't live in fear that leads stigma during campaigns. These have killed ambitions of so many people. I may not want to go far, but let us think around localizing our political parties in Kenya entirely so that people can choose the right people. This is our time. Thank you.
Thank you. Sorry if I am not able to give you the mic because of time. I was given a slot of 6. I have done 7, so forgive me.
Thank you so much for that participatory moment. It's really nice to hear that all of us are ready to participate. We say that our hashtag is to participate, and as you can see, the part which has been highlighted red, it's party, for a political party. As we are calling this to an end, I'm going to give each of my panelists take 30 seconds to just give a parting shot as we come to an end of our dialogue for today.
Thank you so much. Even as we wrap up this campaign, it has been a wonderful journey from all the counties that we've been around, and the conversation has been the same. And so my parting shot for today is, let us realize the Kenya we want. Let us join political parties. It is our time as the young people to create the change that we so much want to see. There is no one else who is coming to give the change or bring the change that we want. It is you and me to bring that change. It starts from us. And I would end by saying to participate. Thank you very much.
The Kenya I want will not be built, but will be built by citizens who dare to dream, to join, and to participate. Let us join political parties, reshape them, and use them to deliver opportunity, justice, and dignity for all. Asante sana.
Thank you once again. So my parting shot is to urge all of us to be the Kenya we want. Let us be the Kenya we want as an individual and as youth. Then finally, let us all join political parties for better Kenya that we want. Welcome again to Homabay County of full potential. Chuny party. Kamago tulu tulu.
Thank you so much. It has really been an interactive session. So as we wrap up, I would also want to say that as young people, as we work towards democratic governance, let us remember that democracy is not an event that we walk into. Democracy needs responsibility. Let us remember that we have responsibility as a people, we have responsibilities as young people. Let us exercise them to be able to realize the Kenya we want. And also, this change that we want, it will not be brought to us, it will be brought by us. And let us also not forget that our voices are important in reshaping this nation and in getting the power that we want. But in as much as our voices are important, our participation is more important. And therefore, let us participate. Thank you.
Thank you so much. This is the last one. We were wrapping up with Homabay County, and I'm going to take this opportunity. Should I give you to give this microphone to Cecil? He's going to give us a way forward, and yeah.
Can we appreciate the team? It's been a pleasure doing this together. It's been a learning point.